Do you know what it feels like to lose everything in one day? I know, because I am Job. This is my story, where faith is tested and the wonder of God is revealed. Welcome to a story that will make you laugh, cry, and question the meaning of life. Today, we will explore the life of Job, a man who was not only rich but also rich in the fear of God. Do you think Elon Musk is rich? Jeff Bezos is rich? Wait, because Job is here to prove that wealth is not only about wealth, but also about trusting God. Do you know who Job was? Job was the richest man of his time, living in the land of you. Don't ask me where. Google hasn't updated the map of the Bible era yet. He was not only a rich man, but also a model father. His list of assets is longer than a Black Friday shopping receipt. 7,000 sheep, enough to host a year-long barbecue. 3,000 camels, the ancient version of supercars. 500 yokes of oxen and 500 donkeys, his own natural logistics company. Hundreds of servants, someone to look after them without doing anything. On top of that, Job also has 7 sons and 3 daughters. They regularly throw lavish parties that will surely make you want to join in immediately. Job is the exemplary father. Do you think being a parent is enough to provide your children with an education? For Job, that's not all. After every lavish party for his children, he always offers a sacrifice the next morning. Why? Because he thinks, what if the children, in their joy, forget that they have done something wrong in the sight of God? Imagine this scene. Early in the morning, Job walks around the yard, holding a lamb, probably the 6.999th, saying as he walks, Lord, I know the kids had a little too much to drink last night, but please forgive them. Here is the lamb to atone for their sins. Please accept it. Job was so serious that if he lived today, he would definitely be the national father with millions of fans on social media. Why should you continue reading this story? The shocking incident. In just one day, Job's entire fortune and happiness disappeared in the blink of an eye. Who was behind these disasters? The confrontation with God. Job questions God about justice and the meaning of suffering. Will he get an answer? The surprising ending, after all. Will Job recover his life? Or is the story just a prolonged tragedy? Click continue, and you won't want to miss a moment. What do you think is the worst thing that can happen in your life? Don't worry. Job is here to tell you the story of a day so bad that even Netflix wouldn't dare write a script. Alarm! Alarm! Your fortune is disappearing. Imagine you're sitting here enjoying a peaceful morning, sipping your tea, when suddenly a series of thunderous news comes crashing down like a message from the bank saying your balance is zero. Messenger number 1. Sir, your cattle and donkeys were attacked while grazing. The Sabaeans took them all, and they killed all the servants. Luckily I escaped, but now we're all lost. Job just managed to get up when… Messenger number 2. Oh no, sir. Fire fell from the sky and burned up the entire flock and the shepherd. I'm the only one who survived to tell the news. Job thought, fire from the sky? Is someone playing a prank on me? But that's not all. Messenger number 3. Sir, a Chaldean gang attacked you in 3 groups and took all your camels. They killed all your servants. Only I escaped. You think that's enough? No, here's the most heartbreaking part. Messenger number 4. Sir, your children were partying at the eldest brother's house when a fierce wind blew from the desert and caused the house to collapse. No one survived. My condolences. The never-ending nightmare. In a few short minutes, everything Job had ever owned, his possessions, his family, his joy, disappeared like a soap bubble. This was not a bad day, but a complete disaster. Imagine Job standing in the middle of his yard, head in his hands, staring into space, wondering, what the hell just happened? But you know what's most shocking? Job didn't blame God. A supportive advice from his wife, while Job sat in the ashes, trying to understand why his life had fallen apart. His wife came to him and, no, she didn't say anything comforting. Instead, she looked at him and said something straight out of a drama. Why are you still loyal to God? Curse him and die. Wait, is she serious? Job, in his deepest anguish, was still calm enough to reply, You are talking like a foolish woman. We receive good things from God. Can't we accept bad things too? The big question is, why did Job keep his faith? In the midst of the storm of suffering, Job did not get angry, did not blame God. Instead, he tore his clothes, shaved his head, knelt on the ground, and said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Praise be to him." This statement not only shows great faith, but also raises the question, if you were Job, could you do the same? More shocking things are ahead. Why did these disasters happen? Will Job find answers to his suffering? And will God show up to explain? Click continue now, because this story is just beginning. Dramatic debate, best friends or fuel to the fire? Best friends are people who will stand by you in times of trouble, right? Wrong. In the case of Job, his three friends not only did not help, but also made the situation as dramatic as a primetime TV show. The good friends appear. After hearing about the series of disasters that have befallen Job, his three best friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, decided to hold an emergency meeting. They made an appointment. We must go see Job right away and comfort him. The plan sounds good, but sometimes good intentions don't always lead to good results. The initial scene, touching and tearful. When the three friends saw Job from afar, they couldn't believe their eyes. He was no longer the handsome, wealthy man they once knew. Instead, Job sat in the ashes, covered in wounds, like someone who had just emerged from the worst nightmare. Their first reaction? Weeping, rip their clothes, throw dust on their heads. Then they sat silently with Job for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word. A rare moment of peace, right? But wait, drama begins. Sincere advice from friends. After 7 days of silence, Eliphaz, the oldest friend, decided to break the ice. Job, I have to tell you the truth. You are suffering like this because of your own sins. No one is innocent. You should confess to God. Bildad added a little salt. Job, I don't want to say this, but maybe your children have done wrong, and that's why they are being punished. And to finish, Zophar delivers the final blow. You say you are innocent? Sorry, but I don't believe you. Actually, you are more guilty than you know. Wait, is this a close friend or a traveling jury? Job's response, fighting to the end. Despite his physical and mental pain, Job refuses to give up. Who do you think you are to judge me? If I did something wrong, I will admit it, but I know I am not guilty. You are not God. He continues to question justice. Why do the righteous suffer, while the wicked live happily? Don't think that just telling me to repent will solve everything. I want to argue directly with God to find out the truth. Job's strong answer makes the atmosphere tense. This is no longer a conversation between friends, but more like a trial with sharp accusations and counter-arguments. The big question, who is right? Who is wrong? This debate makes viewers wonder, are Job's friends right in believing that suffering is a consequence of sin? Will Job find answers from God? If you think this part is dramatic, just wait until God joins the conversation. The drama has only just begun. Click continue now. If you've ever dreamed of having a face-to-face conversation with God, get ready, because this story will show you that when God shows up, He doesn't just answer, He leaves you gasping for air. The appearance of God, the storm is more than just weather. While Job was sitting in the ashes, trying to find answers to his suffering, suddenly the sky darkened, the wind picked up, and a fierce storm arose. But this was no ordinary storm. God showed up. Who is this who is clouding my plans with foolish words? Stand up like a man, for I will ask questions, and you will answer. Do you think Job was afraid? Of course he was, because right from the opening sentence, God issued a challenge that would make anyone tremble. God's question, your brain will smoke? God did not directly answer Job's questions, but instead countered with a series of questions. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Do you know who measured it? Who shaped the ocean and commanded its waves not to exceed their limits? Have you commanded the morning to wake the world? With each question, God not only asserts His creative power, but also emphasizes the smallness of humanity. This is not just a dialogue, it is a cosmic lecture. Job, from struggle to consciousness. Job, who had so forcefully questioned God's justice, now bows his head and listens. After enduring a series of probing questions, he admits, "I am so small. How can I answer? I will be silent and say nothing more." But God is not done yet. He continues, "Do you have the power to judge me? If so, then clothe yourself with glory and majesty. Try to strike down the proud and punish the wicked if you can. If you can do it, I will acknowledge your strength." Job, now understanding more than ever, could only say, "You have spoken of things you do not understand, things too wonderful for you to know. I am sorry and repent in dust and ashes." A shocking conversation. The appearance of God is not only a reminder of God's ultimate power, but also a profound lesson for all of us. Don't try to judge God until you understand the whole picture. If Job thought he could convince God to explain everything, he now realizes that sometimes trust and respect are the only answers. What you didn't expect. After the thunderous conversation, God not only did not reprimand Job, but also praised him for speaking correctly about him. What's more, God rebuked Job's friends for speaking incorrectly and asked them to offer sacrifices so that Job could pray for them. If you were Job, would you be able to keep your faith during the greatest trial? And if you had the chance to talk to God, what would you ask him? Click Continue. Because the wonders are still waiting at the end. Do you think Job's story will end in misery? No. God not only restores what Job lost, but also turns his life into a living example of faith and blessing. Prepare yourself for an emotional and surprising ending. When God says, "My dear friends, listen to me." After his dialogue with Job, God turns to scold his team of close friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. He says, "You have not spoken rightly about me as Job has. So prepare a sacrifice, 7 bulls and 7 sheep, and come and ask Job to pray for you. Otherwise, you will not escape my punishment." Imagine the 3 friends, trembling and hastily preparing their offerings, while Job looks at them with what must surely be a hint of humor. Job, with a forgiving heart, prays for them, and the miracle happened. Level up, wealth, double. No kidding. Immediately after Job's prayer, God acted. His wealth was restored to double what it was before. 14,000 sheep, enough to open the largest meat supermarket in the East. 6,000 camels, the most powerful fleet of natural engine supercars. 1,000 pairs of oxen and 1,000 donkeys. His logistics industry came back strong. But that's not all. God also gave Job 7 new sons and 3 new daughters. And these were not ordinary children. His daughters were famous throughout the region for their extremely beautiful looks. Family reunion, love and peace. Not only did Job's wealth recover, he also received love and comfort from his former close relatives. All his brothers, sisters, friends, and neighbors who had deserted him in his time of need now returned, bringing valuable gifts such as silver and gold. Not only did they express their sympathy, but they also organized great feasts with him to celebrate this miraculous recovery. Job, who had suffered terribly, now enjoyed a prosperous and meaningful life. The last blessing, a full life. God not only restored Job's wealth and family, but also gave Job a long and prosperous life. He lived another 140 years, seeing his children and grandchildren for 4 generations. His life became a clear demonstration that faith in God is never in vain. Job is more than just a Bible story. It is a lesson in patience, faith, and the blessings that God has for those who are faithful to him. If you are going through a difficult time, remember that God always has a bigger plan for you. Trust and don't give up. Are you ready to receive blessings? If this story inspires you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more exciting content. We are here to tell meaningful stories and bring you closer to faith and hope.